Welcome to Westchester Talk Radio. I'm Laura Smith. We're being produced by Shark Creative, and we're brought to you by our title sponsor, Entergy Indian Point Energy Center, supporting the community through April 2021. And our SharkCast sponsors, Lipolis Electric, Don't Be Left in the Dark, Hightower Westchester Fiduciary Wealth Advisors, and White Plains Hospital. Thank you for everyone on the front line. My guest is Jenna Velez. She's the Mental Health Association of Westchester's Vice President of External Affairs. Jenna, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I know that the Mental Health Association has a real rich legacy and history. It's so important for today, but it's been around for a very long time. Tell us a little bit of just the background on MHA, and then we'll get into what you're doing now.
Sure. Yeah. So MHA was actually started in 1946, and actually, when it first started, they were providing clinical services to veterans who were returning home. And so actually next year is going to be our 75th anniversary, which is an exciting celebration to think about. But it's gone through many iterations and lots of growth since then.
I bet. And I'm glad that the 75th is next year and not this year. So hopefully things will be back to normal and you'll be able to have a grand celebration and gala or something like that. I'm very curious as to all the wonderful initiatives that you have and all that you do, because it truly is vast, everything from children to adults and everything in between. So tell us what your main initiatives are.
Sure. So we have a lot of treatment and support services. And like you said, ranging from, in some of the programs, from the ages of 3 and up. I mean, really includes everybody. And so we have many different clinical programs that are providing therapy, some of them within the walls of a clinic, others that are providing therapeutic services in the community and actually going to where the individuals are, whether that be in their home, their school, although a lot of that was happening prior to, obviously, this year. But we do still have people out in the community and, meeting people where they are and where they're able to access the services. We also have a lot of what's called peer support programs, which are individuals who are trained and receive certification to provide support to individuals who have their own lived experience with mental health concerns. And so they're able to provide a unique ear and voice to people who are going through their own situations now and say they can relate in a different way and receive support in that way also.
I would imagine that this year more than ever, I mean, there's a lot of talk of this in the news right now, just how much this pandemic and the so-called lockdowns and sheltering in place and such has really done a number on people who may not have even beforehand had any issues with mental illness, but a lot of people struggling with various levels of issues, everything from depression to anxiety. How has it impacted, and how are you able at the Mental Health Association of Westchester, how are you able to really step in and address these additional needs? It must be a lot of extra work as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've seen the need increase this year also, just right along with everybody else in the community who's providing services. But I think what we've tried to do in the last year is really be flexible and adapt to the changing needs. So we were doing a little bit of telehealth before March, and then mid-March, kind of overnight, basically transitioned to more than 90% of services being delivered through telehealth. And so that was a huge transition, but, we needed to be able to continue to see people that we were already seeing that, that had needs, and then also all the additional needs that were coming up. And we needed to do it in a safe way to keep staff safe, to keep the client safe, as many people out of the community as possible, but not disrupt those services. And then one of the other ways that MHA really stepped in was we have a community center where it was a great hub during the week where people would come and they could do vocational training and have support groups. And there was a cafe. It was a great place for socializing. And there was a food pantry there that a lot of people came to rely on. And Again, so that community center had to close its doors, but the staff were really committed to making sure people at least still had contact. They were calling them and delivering food to their houses if they needed it, and even PPE when we got donations or were able to secure that. So I think it was just all about adapting, staying flexible, and just not whatever we could to not disrupt the services people were getting.
Absolutely. And is the MHA sort of a pro bono service for the community, or how do people access
The
care and
services.
yeah, and the
Mhm.
services there?
Right. Well, there's a number of different ways. So we have some programs that are contracted programs where maybe we have funding or grant funded programs. And then we have others that are reimbursed through health insurance. So, but our philosophy is that we would never turn somebody away due to inability to pay. So we want the services to be accessible to everyone. So if we can use insurance, then we're going to do that. And if somebody doesn't have insurance or they're not eligible for insurance or they just can't afford, we don't want to turn anybody away. So we would set up a sliding scale fee or something like that to just make sure that we're available and accessible to whoever needs it.
That's fantastic. I know that you have an educational aspect to some of your programs. What
Mhm.
tell us about some of those?
Right. So we do have a community education department, which is part of what I do. And that's all about getting out into the community, raising awareness about mental health in general, wellness, helping people understand how to cope and adapt. And so, again, this year we kind of took a different approach where we had done some community conversations in the past where we would bring in a speaker or speakers and set up at a venue and have that person come and talk about something and, do more of a presentation like that. Where as this year, we started doing them online. So we would just get on Zoom with someone and we covered things like adapting screen time during COVID. That was early on as parents were kind of like, oh, my kids are on Zoom all day for school. And then that's the only way they can socialize. And I'm worried about the impact of that. So we had a developmental pediatrician come on to share some information. We had community conversations about fostering post-traumatic growth and resilience, and then also just managing the losses and grief associated with lost experiences, all the losses that we've faced during this time.
Absolutely. Tell us some ways that people can kind of help to be caring for their own loved ones in addition to using your services. What sort of resources do you provide for people who are, helping a family member perhaps, or a dear friend, or reaching out in their community to help people? What are some of those ways people can truly make a difference for people struggling right now?
To provide support too. So, oh, yeah. I mean, I think just listen and, be available because we're all at different levels of disconnection and isolation. For somebody who's living alone, who maybe has some health conditions and isn't able to get out at all, they're going to be a lot more isolated than someone potentially who lives with other people or is able to at least get out and go to a grocery store or go to work. But the truth is, we all respond to these situations in different ways. So I think it's really about listening, hearing. If you hear that somebody is struggling, maybe step up that support, or call more often, try to be creative. And if it seems like that's not working or you're really, really concerned about someone, then, try to encourage them to make that phone call. Like, let's just call and see what this is about. And you don't have to commit to anything, but just call and find out about the services that are available or come to the website with me. We also launched during this time a community connection line, which is really geared towards those who just need someone to talk to. It's not a crisis line. It's not, you don't have to have a mental health concern. Maybe you just feel like I need someone to talk to and I don't really have someone I could call right now. And
Mhm.
so this is a line that's really just about connection.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do you have the phone number?
Yes, so the number is 914-219-8255. 4232. And that is staffed Monday through Friday from 9 to 5.
Wonderful. Jenna Velez, what do we have to look forward to with the MHA going into 2021, besides hopefully returning to normal?
Yeah.
What initiatives do you have happening on the horizon?
One of the exciting things that we have that we're working on right now is we're going to be launching our very first podcast. And so that's something really exciting that's going to be coming up in the new year that we hope people will join us for. And it's going to be all about talking to people who are able to share experiences that they've gone through, whether most of them have been more challenging experiences, but how they have made meaning through those experiences and use them to propel them towards growth and resilience in their lives. So a way to really surface those kind of stories to say what we experience and what we go through does not define us, and it's a part of our story, but it's the meaning that we make from those experiences that's really the most powerful.
That's wonderful. Are you going to be hosting the podcast yourself?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
wonderful.
I am.
Thus, all the professional equipment I see there. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of equipment and, the way we do things digitally these days, tell us a little bit about your new health platform called My Strength. Is it new, or has it been around for a while?
Yeah, it's been around for a while. So we partnered with them about a year and a half ago, and My Strength. It's a digital behavioral health platform. It's a web-based platform, but they also have an app, and they have a ton of resources on there for just managing your own mental health wellness, and you can use it for a variety of purposes. So we partnered with them because we wanted to offer a way for those who are receiving services with us to have something that they could use in between their visits and to really help propel to their recovery and growth. And then what we realized was, wow, we're all benefiting from this platform. And so we started sort of sharing it more widely, because I think not just right now, especially right now, but in general, we all kind of need that. And, just to take time each day to focus on, what am I doing to promote my own mental health today? What am I doing to promote my own wellness today? Whether it's a 5-minute meditation, or just reading an inspiring quote, or maybe digging in and really working on some bigger issues like anxiety or insomnia, lack of sleep. So it's a really great platform with tons of content. And people can access that for free through MHA.
And where is that? What is it called again exactly, and how do they access it?
It's called My Strength.
Okay.
And so the best thing to do is, just so we don't get too wordy here, is if you go to our website, which is www.mhawestchester.org, then you can find the platform right on there, and there's a free community access code that can be used.
My Strength. Fantastic. It sounds really exceptional. And you're doing just so much, or MHA is doing so much for our community. And it's just now more than ever. We need each other. We need growth and opportunities to just continue going through all of this. And MHA Westchester really has been there historically for people, and almost 75 years. It's really important what you're all doing, and we're grateful that you're in the community. So for people to go, what is the website again? MHAWestchester.org. Okay. Yeah. MHAWestchester.org. My guest today is Jenna Velez. She's the Mental Health Association of Westchester's Vice President of External Affairs. It's been absolutely wonderful having you today, Jenna. Thank you so much for being on Westchester Talk Radio. And once again, we're being produced by Shark Creative, and we're also made possible by Warburg Rehabilitation, Park Sterling Realty, Michael Labriola Incorporated, Landscape Design and Construction. And make sure to click our subscribe button on YouTube, by the way. You could do that as well, Jenna, for more locally inspired stories and spotlights here in our vast and beautiful community of Westchester County. Once again, thank you so much, Jenna Velez.
Thank you so much as well. Thank you. It was great.
For all your mental health needs and whatever support you need, MHAWestchester.org. I'm Laura Smith, and this is Westchester Talk Radio.